Hi, today I'm going to be showing you a video on how to properly blow dry your hair to protect the ends of your hair from getting overly heat damaged and to create some nice volume within your hairstyle. I'm also going to be demonstrating how to use Innersense I Create Lift for you today. We want to create some volume in our hairstyle today and some big fullness. So what we're going to be using on very damp hair, we've just finished washing her, we're going to take our Innersense I Create Lift. We're going to take 3 pumps of this in our hands. We're going to work that through our hands well. And then we're going to concentrate our product application first through the root and scalp area. So I'm just raking through with my fingers those first few inches of the hair and really making sure that I coat that product through well. And then with the small amount that's left residual on my hands, we're going to just rake that through the ends of the hair as well. And what this is going to do is help give us some support in our style so that when we blow dry, we'll be able to create that fullness and it will hold that volume into the hair so it won't fall flat. Okay, so we're going to blow dry her hair here. We've already applied our styling products. For today, I'm using Innersense I Create Lift to give us some volume through the style. Her hair is very wet right now. We've still got some dripping out of the ends. We've towel dried it well, we've detangled. The first thing we're gonna do blow drying is just do what we call a rough dry. And what that's gonna achieve is just get a lot of the moisture out of the hair first before we start working with our styling brushes, which will help prevent too much heat damage on the hair. We're also going to start directing the root area into where we want the finished style to be. So if we're looking for more volume, we'll be blow drying the hair lifting up through the scalp area. And if we have a specific part we would like our hair to be, we're gonna start working within that parting also. So you can see as I get started, I'm just pushing the hair and moving it up off of the scalp, directing the airflow from the roots down towards the tips of the hair, really working my way through the scalp area to ensure that we're starting to get that dry and direct it in the way we want it to go, and just kind of running my hands through and shaking through the ends, just trying to work out a lot of the excess moisture before we start working with our round brushes. You can either do this with a blow dry like I am, or you can just simply let your hair air dry until it's at a good level of dampness to start working with your round brushes. But this is such an important step in saving your hair from heat damage. And we do this until our hair is about 80% dry. Okay, so now that you can see, she's pretty well rough dried. You can see the amount of dryness now that's going through her hair. It's a lot of moisture that we want to get out before we start working with our round brushes or our styling brushes. So now that she's set at this point, I'm going to get out some round brushes and I'll show you how we start to build some volume through this. So I'm choosing a large sized round brush to work with for this because that's going to help us to build volume on this longer hair while also not creating too much curl through the ends of the hair. So when we first get started with our section, we're really going to be focusing just on the root area, which is that area from your scalp to about like 3-4 inches down. And we're going to be drying just that area to start. Really focusing on smoothing the hair down. So you can see I'm angling my blow dryer so that it's pushing the hair from the root, the air all the way from the root to the tip of the hair, which is going to help control frizz and give you a really smooth blow dry. So just these few inches at first to start. So we're going to continue doing this until we get that root area pretty much 100% dry. And we're really focusing on angling that blow dryer so that we're getting a nice smooth blow dry. So you can see I'm not blowing towards the scalp, I'm blowing away from the scalp and down the hair shaft, which is going to create a smoother, less frizzy blow dry for you. Once that hair is dry, you can see now we're going to work into this middle length of the hair. And we're going to repeat the same process on the mid-lengths of the hair. So now we're still angling that blow dryer. So you can see my nozzle is angling, so it's pushing down the hair shaft and not blowing up against it. That's going to help, again, give us this very smooth result with our blow dry. But we're still, you can see, lifting the brush out and away from the hair. So we're not dragging it straight down. So we're still helping to maintain some volume so that it's not going to dry really flat. And then once the middle of the hair is dry, you can see I start working the ends of the hair and rolling the ends of the hair through the brush. That, by doing it this way, we prevent over drying the ends of the hair, which tend to dry much faster than the root and the mid shaft of the hair. So now that I'm finished, you'll see I'll roll it all the way into the scalp nice and tight, unroll it just a little bit, and then give it a little twist and just smooth those ends over one last time. This helps to create this extra volume through the root and give you a little bit of bend through the ends of the hair so that the ends of the hair don't fall too straight. So you can see this nice volume that we've created on this section, and now we're going to move on to the next section of our hair, and we're going to repeat this same process. So you can see I'm going to be just taking down another section of hair, and we're going to go through it the same as we did on that first time. So we're going to start first by really working through the root and scalp area. And then once that's dry, we'll move through the mid-shaft and mid-lengths of the hair and then really work those ends in. And we're going to continue in this same manner as we go through the head, really helping to smooth that hair down nicely and build some great volume. So now we've moved into the top section, and we're going to be repeating the same process. Again, really working on smoothing out that root area and starting to lift up and away from the head to build that volume, and then moving through the mid-lengths of the hair. Again, notice the angle of the blow dryer, how it's pushing the hair from the root down towards the tip, which is going to smooth down any frizz that you may have. Now we're going to take this big jumbo Velcro roller, and we're going to use that with some hairspray to set this hair on the top. So we're going to spray our hairspray lightly over the section after we've pulled it off the round brush. And then we're going to take our roller, put it into the hair in the middle, and then roll it down through the ends so it smooths out those ends and wrap those in tight. And then we're just going to roll that tightly down to the scalp, being sure that we're lifting the hair like straight up off of the root onto that roller and not pulling it downward. And we're going to leave that roller in and move on to our next section. And we're going to repeat the same process through the entire top section of the head, smoothing it down, building that volume with the blow dryer, and then going in, spraying a light hairspray on it and wrapping it around our Velcro roller. What this is going to do is help to set that hair on the top while we're finishing our blow dry so that we really build the support for that volume in the top section. So we pull it off of our brush, spray with hairspray, and roll it back down straight onto the head. I like to do this with about 4 to 5 rollers, depending on the size of the rollers and how much it'll take me to get through this top section. But I'll generally roll 1 roller forward in the front, and then I'll do the next 3 or 4 going backwards. Okay, so once I have all of my rollers in and I'm happy with that, I will go through the lower section of the hair and just go through same as we did on the sides, and I will just section and blow dry that in the same manner. Root area first, then through the mid-lengths, and then going over the ends of the hair. Now, because we've done the top section first and set it in the rollers, while we're going through and doing our blow dry on the rest, our top section is already setting in this nice volume from these rollers. So we don't have to wait until we finish blow drying, then go back in and set the rollers, and then wait for those rollers to set before we take them out. So I will generally, I know in this video I blow dried the sides of the hair first, but I really just wanted to show you the technique for blow drying. I will actually blow dry my top section first, get my rollers set in, and then go and blow dry the sides and the underneath all together. That way my set is happening while I'm finishing my blow dry, which saves you the time of waiting at the end. so now that we've finished blow drying the underneath, we're gonna go through and remove our rollers. So we're gonna just slowly unroll those from the hair, set the rollers aside, and then we'll look and see how much volume we've created from the hair. So as I pull out this second roller, you're going to see how much volume is in there. This technique is especially great for longer hair that tends to be heavy and won't hold volume after a blow dry. By setting it in the rollers and letting it cool down while lifted up like this, your volume will last you much longer and your hair won't flatten out like 5 minutes after you finish your blow dry and walk out the door. So look at all this extra volume and lift we get by just using these rollers to set the top. I want to show you a technique for if you don't have rollers like these. And these are just simple Velcro rollers that you can buy at most beauty supply stores. But I want to show you a technique to use if you don't have the rollers and you still want to achieve the volume that you're going to get from this. Okay, so you can do the same technique we did before of blow drying it out with a round brush, and then once you get your section done, you spray it with hairspray. But instead of using the rollers, we're going to use these small little, they're called pincer clips to hold the hair in. And what we're going to do is once we pull it off our round brush, we're going to hairspray like we did the first time. And then we're just going to wrap it and roll it back up, almost as if there was a roller in there. And we're going to take these clips and just use them one on either side, just to pinch and hold that in place. So you can achieve the same big full blowout, whether you have the rollers or don't have the rollers at home. If you want to do it with just the clips, you can do it that way also. And then when you want to let it loose, you just take the clips back out and let this come through. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of gloss on my fingers to rake this out so that we can see the finished look. So I'm using Innersense I Create Shine. I'm just going to take a couple of drops of that in my hand. And I'm just going to use my fingers to run through the hair now. And you can see how much fullness now we have. Let me raise our friend up here so you can see her a little bit better. You can see how much fullness and bounce this has added to her blow dry, and you can flip this part either way to whichever side you want it to go. What I would do is when you're placing in your rollers and doing that top section, I would place that top section over wherever your part is. So if you're center part, you can go down the middle. If you're off to the side, I would kind of set those rollers off on the side part as well. But either way, you can see how much more volume she has in here and body, and it gives just a little bit of like a nice curve to the ends so that they're not so poker straight. And then with this, you could easily go in with your curling iron and just add a little more curl to the ends if you wanted. But you've built all this nice body and volume in through here. Even on my little friend here who has very long hair, you can see she has almost no layering in her hair, and we're still able to achieve all of this nice volume and body in there in her hair. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Give it a try and let me know in the comments how it worked out for you.